One of the biggest mistakes that anyone can ever make when it comes to pricing their products and services is a mindset. And this is a mistake that I've been making for so many years. I have to keep on relearning the lesson, and the world keeps going, come on Peter, you know this. And I'll tell you what it is, and I'll tell you exactly the downsides that it creates, how to avoid them, and then the benefits you can actually get from it, and exactly what to do. Let me start with a short story. About 100 years ago, maybe not 100 years, feels like it sometimes, about 40 years ago, I'd been in business for about 10 years, and I was actually selling car telephones. This is in the days before mobile, went to have a phone, you actually had it installed in the car, a great big box in the boot, and a handset that was simplex, in other words, press to speak, release to listen, that was installed in the front of the car. And I once had a guy who responded to my marketing. His name was Harry Woothen, and he lived and worked in Birmingham. He was an auctioneer and a real character as an importer of goods. He was a super guy and used to do an awful lot for charity. And he contacted me and said he wanted to buy 2 phones. Anyway, I went out to see him, but we just couldn't agree the price. We were both standing firm on our numbers. But I had a good follow-up system, so I kept on following him up every couple of months. And it must have been about 9 months later when Harry called me and said, Peter, we've decided to buy both those car phones from you. Would you come and see me? So I went over to see him and his partner. And he said, well, look, you certainly weren't the cheapest. We did shop about at the time. We've shopped about since. But we're going to give you the deal because of your perseverance. And I said that was fantastic. And I took the order and we became firm friends for a long time thereafter. And I was thinking about that particular sale and its impact on my business. And I realised one thing. And that was that despite what most people believe, most clients, most customers, most patients do not buy on price. They buy on value. They're not price sensitive, they're value sensitive. And when we get the other factors right, then for most people, not all people of course, but for most people, price becomes a factor and not the factor. Now the problem is when we think that price is the factor, when we start writing our marketing, when we film our videos, when we create our website, when we're doing our social media posts and everything else, our mindset and therefore our words and actions are coloured by this thought that people are buying on price. Now I found, and speak to my clients, I'm certain that this is true, that about 10% of people buy on price. These would be the people that Roy H. Williams, the Wizard of Ads, the genius of a guy, calls transactional customers. Whereas most people, most clients, are buying on value and actually looking to the supplier to be the expert. And so they are thinking that price, which is obviously important, is a factor and not the factor. So if we get it wrong, it makes it really difficult to do good quality business and attract the right people that we want. But when we get it right, and there's a variety of ways to do that, we test this, and we can attract the right people, and we can build for ourselves a business and a life of choice where we're making regular profits by delivering value to our clients. After all, money is only the silent applause for a job well done and value delivered to others. So here's some actions that I think you could take with regard to this. Firstly is to have that mindset that we're delivering value and not worrying about the price at all. Yes, we've got to deal with price, but it's not the number one factor. And the way I think we can work on this is to do some testing. Firstly, we can test the marketplace with a higher price to see whether or not people are prepared to pay higher numbers in order to get higher value. Secondly, we can reduce the price to see what is the right price in the marketplace. As Warren Buffett said, we'll let Mr. Market determine. And then the third thing we can do, and perhaps a little unusual, is to think about repackaging, renaming, and having a new strapline for products. So think of it as putting the product or service in a box, giving it a new name, giving it a new strapline, and adding different value into that box. So we can then promote that in a different sort of way with a new mindset that our customers, or actually our clients, are looking for value. I'm sure you can take this idea away and use it. It really does work well. And if you enjoyed this, then why not pop over and see the various other videos I make, and I will see you there. As you probably gather, I'm stood on a ship and it's moving. I'm actually on the way to my home in Spain, and Sharon, my wife, and I have decided that we'll come by ferry and bring the car with us this time. So I'm on the ferry from Portsmouth to Santander at the top of Spain, and then we're driving through Spain to the bottom of it. So I hope you've enjoyed this and you can take the ideas away and use it, and I wish you every success in all your adventures in life, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. From me, Peter Thomson, goodbye for now.